last year, around this time, I read a really nice story in the Huffington Post, Maghreb. It was about this young man. His name is Miloud Tababi. He's from Rudaif, a small mining town in the south of Tunisia. At the time, the town didn't have really a government, and it was free range for everybody, basically. And he decided that he will launch a cleaning up campaign and a beautification campaign of his hometown. So he invited everyone in his community to join him and to work together and make it a better place. Basically, what they did is they cleaned up public gardens, painted walls, added road signs to the streets to make the street safer. They planted trees and flowers. And to me, this is an amazing example of what I call a city change maker. This is my work. I try to empower change makers generally, and more specifically, change makers who are shaping the cities where we live. The city change makers are basically people who have great vision for the future. They want to improve things. They want to contribute to their community. They have a lot of courage to make change. And they will make it happen because they have the ability to mobilize people around their causes. And as an urban sustainability and innovation professionals, I see city change making as the next thing of city making. If you look traditionally in cities, they're usually shaped by developers, by urban planners, or by city government. But in my work, I'm seeing more and more a new breed of people who are actually transforming their cities into better places to live, work, and enjoy. You can find them anywhere. New York, Amsterdam, Vancouver, Tunis, Nairobi, Istanbul. They're everywhere. Many of them actually are probably in this room. And to me, this is really the new thing. The new thing is the big time for changing cities. They're of all kinds. You have the street artists, like El Cid, you probably know of him, who are completely reappropriating public space and changing it into a much better place through art and creativity. You've got the designers, the makers, who are creating new things, new goods, new spaces, new structures. Sometimes they use just a basic technology or new technology, sometimes even tires to create playgrounds. In this case in Ramallah, it's a beautiful example of using something very simple and turning it into something great for the benefit of the community. You also have the civic activists who are bringing back cities at the center and at the heart of city governance. You are familiar with Al-Bawsla and the great work they do at a national level. Now they're going into the municipal level. They're going to create the link between municipalities and the citizens, and you should all engage in this. You've got the social entrepreneurs who are disrupting business model and creating new things. Urban farming on the roof of buildings, why not? They're creating amazing impact, environmental, social, economic, and they're part of the development of any city. You've got, of course, the tech innovators. We all use them. We have our phones and lots of apps who are actually shaping the way we move in the city, how we make choices on which restaurants we go to, et cetera, et cetera. They're tackling big urban challenges, and they're doing it at a very large scale. And last but not least, they're the community catalysts. These are the people who are bringing back sharing into our life. How can we share bikes, share books, share houses, share everything? And this is really the future of our mode of consumption into making it more sustainable and more responsible. Great things happening everywhere around the world. These city change makers are basically leaders. They have a deep care for the city and for the people who live in it. They are creative. They know how to take advantage of the power of collaboration. And they're simply innovators who are really driven by impact. In developing or developed cities, however, we find that the city change makers get a lot of support from their government, from large organizations, from civil society. You find startup incubators, accelerators, urban labs, networking events, financing opportunities, and many other things. Why is this happening? It's because city government especially sees that these city change makers can be very crucial in shaping up the vision of their future city and getting that city to that point. So basically, they are able to deliver the vision as well. So this is all good. And what do I mean by vision? By vision, I mean this process that typically the city government will start and engage many stakeholders, whether they're civil society, whether they're businesses, et cetera, and ask them, where do we want to go with our cities? In 2030, in 2040, what our city will look like? How can we work together to get there? It's a very, very important instrument. And many of the great cities in the world, this is just a global ranking of cities depending on their level of livability, how nice they are to live in. And all these cities have a vision that was laid out collectively for their citizens and for everyone who's linked to that city. Now, this is in developed cities, and it's great. What do we do in emerging cities like Tunis, like Nairobi, like Istanbul? How do we do this? I mean, we can simply ask the government to go ahead and do a vision for us. Or maybe we can think of crowdsourcing it together. Let's think about Tunis in 2020, 2030, 2040, or let's just call it XOXO. Tunis XOXO, what do you think it should look like? Well, I did a small exercise before coming here, and I asked a bunch of our friends from the Kojit community. They're all change makers, they're entrepreneurs, they're creatives, and I asked them, what would you like city to look like? I'm sure you all have a view on this. Some of them said, we want a city that is green, that is shaped by collaboration. Others said, we want Tunis to be the Silicon Valley of Africa. I love that. Others said, we want Tunis to be autonomous from the point of energy. We want L'Avenue Habib Bourguiba pedestrians, car-free. Why not? We want city to be connected, where we can use technology everywhere. We can even use QR code to make our history and heritage speak. It's really powerful. Others said they want the city to be managed at the level of the Homa, or the neighborhood. I think this is excellent. Why not a bike revolution, guys? Tunis has a great weather, it's pretty flat, we can go anywhere with a bike if you want. And my favorite is that Tunis should be a place that is able to keep their citizens living in it without thinking or dreaming of going anywhere else. And I think this is super. Okay, so there were obviously more entries, and I thought, what's the best way to process this information? So here's a sample tool. I put it into word cloud. I think the message is very clear. We want better, we want more in Tunis. We want it to be green, we want it to be innovative, we want it to be modern, we want it to be clean, we want spaces and services that are of quality, we want rich cultural activities happening in the city. We want all these great things, and it's okay to dream. We should actually collectively build a shared vision and go there together. And this is where you come in. I invite you to go on your Twitter on your phone or on Facebook and tweet your vision of your city. We're going to update this, and hopefully we can make enough buzz so that the government can listen and they start working on a vision for a city. And as city change makers, many of you are here. I believe that everyone can be a change maker. We can make a difference. We can boost Tunis up in the rankings, the global ranking. Remember, Tunis used to be Carthage, the best, the most beautiful, the most innovative city in the world. Let's do it. Tunis XOXO. Thank you.